Hello and welcome back to my composting series for beginners called Composting Broken Down. And today is less windy than last week, as you can probably tell, so you can actually hear me today very well. And today I'm going to be speaking to you. This is probably the last episode in this series where I'm going to talk to you about the uses of compost and how you can put compost to good use in your garden. So all that waste that you've put in your compost bin you can use to a good use in your garden to grow more food or more flowers or whatever you like growing in your garden. The first thing I'm talking to you about today is mulching, and you can use compost for mulching in many ways. You can use it as a mulch to retain moisture, or you can use it as a mulch to retain weeds or suppress weeds. You can also use it in other ways, such as trying to feed the soil, so feeding all the microbes in the soil, which is what the no-dig method does. And I think mulching is probably my favourite because it's so easy, or top dressing it's also known as. And the second use for compost is starting your seeds. Starting your very own seeds is one of the easy ways that you can save money in your garden as well, because buying plants at garden centres that are already grown are quite expensive, and it's much cheaper if you can buy a £2 packet of seeds, and even if you're using your own compost it's much cheaper. So to use this compost I'd say you'd sieve it. That's one of my main tips with this, is to sieve it, because sometimes the big lumps in compost, especially shop bought compost, it can sort of lessen the seed to soil contact, and that's crucial to seeds germinating quickly and well, because they need to be touching the soil all around that seed so that it can basically know to start growing. And it also helps with the moisture because there's less air in there that retains a bit more moisture. And another tip is for potting and in containers. So here I've got my pepper, and I've used compost mixed with some manure in this to help give it some nutrients. And I've also recently just put some old wood ash on top to try and give it some of the nutrients it needs to flower and produce fruit. And compost is great for this because it retains the moisture better than if you put soil in. But what I also say is with some plants, it might be best for you to mix the compost half and half, or to a certain ratio, with soil to give it also a bit of drainage properties, because sometimes compost for some plants can get a bit too cloggy and a bit wet and soggy sometimes because it can rot the roots on some plants. But for the most part it's fine just to use in containers like I am here with my bell pepper. So I did speak a little bit just then about mixing soil with the compost to try and help some plants in containers. And unless you've got really clay soil is a lot more free draining normally than compost, especially if you haven't got much organic matter in your soil. So here, this is a new bed, so it's not fully developed with the soil. Soil, it's a lot drier. When you look at compost versus soil in the sun, the compost's always going to be wetter for longer, which means if there's something that needs free draining soil for some plants, you will need to, or you can, mix some soil in with your compost. And it also saves money on your compost, especially if you're buying it in. But also, soil does have some rocks in it which help with drainage, or alternatively you can mix in a grit or some perlite or something into your compost to make sure that that draining property is there. I'd just like to take this time out of the video to make sure that you've subscribed to my YouTube channel down below, and also hit the little notification bell to make sure you're notified next time I upload a video. As I talk quite a lot in my videos about is water retention, especially my how to save water video, which is further back. I speak quite a bit about how organic matter is like a sponge, which it is, because it's got quite a lot of pores in it. So like leaves, when they're broken down, they've got loads of little holes or pores in them which can absorb this moisture. And this flower bed here, it's about 2 or 3 years old, and I've mixed a lot of compost in its time, and a lot of wood chips and things that have been broken down, and it's doing really well, the soil. It's teeming with life, and I think this just demonstrates how, because I don't need to water this bed as much as the others, and that demonstrates how it absorbs the water and gives it to the roots when they need it, which means if you have more compost in your soil you won't need to water as much. So if you want to save money on water, then get some compost, either make your own as you can see in this series further back, or buy in bulk. So you can buy in, there's a lot of municipal compost that you can buy in bulk in 1 ton or 10 ton weight, and you can spread this on your garden, and again it'll retain the moisture just like this soil. I'm going to show you how you can use a soil sieve and some compost. This is just multi-purpose because I don't have any ready from my own homemade one at the moment. I'm going to show you how you can sow seeds using compost, which is, the same process goes for your own compost. I'm just going to sit down a bit more comfortably. So what you do is you get your sieve and you just shovel in some compost, and then you shake it to get the finer compost out. I'm just going to fill this seed tray up. I might not have enough compost here, but I'll do it off the camera so that you're not stuck watching me do all of this. But I just need to fill it up. And if you want to see my video about sowing in modules versus direct sowing, then you can click up here. I'll just get this done and then I'll be back. And make sure you give it a really good water before you put the seeds in. This prevents them being displaced. And now that's done, all you need to do is sow the seeds in. So here, hold on, 1, 2. So there's 8 across and 5 across there. I need more sprouts than anything else, so I think I'm going to do 2 rows kale, 2 rows cabbage, and then 4 rows of sprouts. So I'll put my label in there, and then that label there and that label there, and I'm just going to make small indentations with my finger. Okay, so now that's done, I'm going to start off with the sprouts. I'm doing this because my first sowing didn't do very well, so just need about 1 seed in each module because they're quite good at germinating. Lastly, cover with a small sprinkling of compost over all of these seeds, and you may need to water if it's hot like it is today. And there you go, that's how you sow into modules using your own compost. And now I'm going to show you how to top dress. So to top dress your beds, this is an easy way to add nutrients to your soil without having to dig any compost in, which you shouldn't be doing anyway, as you'll know in my no dig video. And top dressing, you need to add a 2 to 4 inch layer of compost or organic matter, so that could be composted manure as well, straight on top of your bed. And what this will do is the worms will turn it into the soil and it will add the nutrients into your soil, and you can do this whilst plants are growing. So you don't need to wait until autumn or spring or winter to top dress or to mulch your beds. You can top dress them during the summer whilst things are growing, just around the plants, and this can help give a boost mid-season. Thank you for watching this whole series, and if you haven't already seen it, there'll be an end card on this video showing you how you can get to the playlist. And this is a series of 3 episodes where at the start I showed you what compost bin to get, then I showed you the process and what to compost, and now I've showed you how to use the compost that you've produced. Thank you for watching, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below, and share the video with your friends to make sure that more people experience the joy of gardening.